Massive round of Anzac Day basketball in NBL 1 East. We're back at the Bear Cave this Saturday for Inner West Bulls taking on the North Bears. It's a local derby, Garen, and we're fired up. It's going to be an awesome matchup, especially in the men's competition, which we're going to start by previewing. So, looking at how the Inner West Bulls did last week, Garen, a 77-63 win over the Bankstown Bruins. And
at Bankstown.
Yeah, which is a tough place to win. And Garen, you're saying it was the defensive energy and the half-court pressing that really got the Bulls over the line that day.
Yeah, it was. It was the team defense, multiple guys rotating, having bigs that can protect the ring, not allowing clean looks, and just rotating on defense.
Yeah, they managed to hold Bankstown to 11 points in the third quarter.
Yeah,
and
the start of the fourth was at 39 points. They did a good job on the scouting report, and yeah, good team defense.
Yeah, and stepping up that game, Garen, I mean, it's been a bit of a spread this year for the Inner West Bulls about who's stepping up in the scoring department at least. But Alexander Higgins-Titcher, 21 points.
17 rebounds.
Whoa, that's massive. And of course, the defensive effort and energy really holding down the paint. Higgins-Titcher. Zach Hudson chipped in 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with that. As well as Jake Omar.
14 off the bench.
Yeah, 14 off the bench. And Tony Tolliver, as usual, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So, Tony, it's a stacked bench for the Inner West Bulls. Of course, the Bulls, Garrett, at the start of the year, looking a little shaky with a lot of new players to feed into the system, but it's really working out. And a player we really want to highlight that you've got to keep an eye out for this weekend is Raymond Kao. Now, he is just pure. His shot technique it should be in a museum. It should be taught to kids. It should be taught around the world as this is how you shoot the basketball. Top to bottom, excellent shooter.
Yeah, designed by some of the best engineers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's coming off the bench at the moment, but he's a big player as well. So can switch into that power forward position, but can also space the floor. Yeah. So Raymond Kao, the mid-range turnarounds, the 3-point shots, and can even get to the basket. So a player that we were surprised to see sit up for the Bulls at the start of the season. We didn't hear anything about him until the first game. So Raymond Kao, another big play to watch for the Bulls. And Garen, Zach Hudson really starting to click into gear now for the Inner West Bulls, the versatile power forward.
Yeah, can stretch the floor, drive it in, attack the lane. It doesn't clog the paint as much, so giving space for other guys to operate in that dunker spot or in that painted area. So it's good to have that balance of Zach Hudson, Alexander Higgins-Titcher, and a lot of these role players just really stepping up, spacing the floor. It's a good brand of basketball that Inglaus brought to Inner West. Yeah,
and you mentioned that with Zach Hudson. I mean, I think I made the mistake early in the year, just thinking it was going to be a straight swap for Chris Bryant. But Zach Hudson, a little more of a perimeter player, maybe a little provides a little more versatility, which has really opened up the paint for Alexander Higgins-Titcher. Of course, Chris Bryant was sensational last year, but with him moving on to Hills, Higgins-Titcher can really just dominate the paint. It's all his for the taking, and the shooting's coming along as well. So Zach Hudson and Higgins-Titcher really fed off each other well. And Garen, you're mentioning the role players stepping up. Two players that I want to highlight.
Was Timonera and Fiketti.
Yeah.
2 glue guys that really stepped up against Bankstown as well. Don't need to do a whole lot on offense. They can if needed be, but yeah, they're just reliable, play good team defense, can hit open shots, and just emphasize good ball movement. And yeah, they're reliable, solid glue guys that I think every team needs, players like that.
And yeah, and a big part of that defense, 2 really strong players on the perimeter. And players like Fiketti can really switch on to almost anyone. He's big, he's strong, and you're right, can knock down the shot. I mean, had 7 rebounds last game. So players like Timonera and Fiketti, they've got plenty of scoring on the Bulls, so they complement the rest of the Bulls team really, really well. So Inglaus really spoilt for choice. And you also have players like Johnny May Edwards. They're a very deep team. So that'll be a great matchup, Garen. I mean, for you, Bulls North, anytime they've met, it's been a very close game. Where do you think this game's going to be won and lost for the Bears?
On the defensive end.
Of course, yeah.
And not falling into their traps and moving the ball quick and not having glue hands. I'm sure Angus has done a great scouting report along with his coaching staff. So they've scouted heavy, but it's just a deep team. And sometimes you just got to be willing to leave someone open
Yeah.
On a team like that, and it's who do you leave open?
Yeah, pick your poison situation.
Pick your poison situation, because there's going to be situations like that where you're forced to leave someone a little bit open. And who's going to be that guy for Inner West to step up and hit those shots? But who's going to be, just defense.
Yeah, it's going to be defense, because we know on the other end, the Inner West Bulls, that trapping action they do where they're kind of big, normally Higgins, Titcher in the middle, then your two wing players, and they push the opposition to the sidelines. It was really key for their success last season. And they've continued that this season, even under a new coach. So that pressing action, how Bears can break through that press and not get flustered, I think will be the keys to the game.
Yeah, well, my 12s boys were running through our press. And the biggest thing for a press is using that sideline as your third defender, forcing them to step out of bounds and committing early turnovers and frustration. For players, if you can commit 2-3 turnovers in the first quarter just to get them frustrated a little bit, momentum can swing on one team's way. And it's just...
Garen, the major sponsor for our men's preview
is Ryde Putt Putt or Ermington Putt Putt.
Yeah, Ermington Putt Putt Golf. It's a great day out for the family. You can take them along. So thank you to Putt Putt Golf for sponsoring this video. Of course, the winner of the game as best player on the weekend will receive
a free round. Yeah, get a hole in one on the last hole, and you get a free game of golf.
Yeah, so it's an absolute hole in one. I'm sure Lewis Holly will be keen to win that prize. And into the game, Garen. This one is going to be. Look, it's going to be a tough game for the Inner West Bulls. The North Bears are just flying high at the moment. They just had a sensational weekend, back-to-back wins against Comets and against the Sharks as well. So pretty convincing wins as well. They weren't necessarily challenged a whole lot, to be frank. The Inner West Bulls, a team they've won one game this season. So honestly, Bulls looking better than last season. Got a lot of young talent coming through for the Inner West Bulls. But last week, they went down in heavy defeat, 84-51 against the Bankstown Bruins. But stepping up as usual, as she has all season, is Piath Gabriel, 16 points, 9 rebounds. The big, who we're going to get to a little later, really stepping up against Bankstown. Margaret Robinson, their new import, a bit of a breakout game, 10 points, 14 rebounds, real hard-nosed kind of player. So stepping up there, but really not a whole lot of scoring options for the Bulls at the moment.
Not a whole lot at all. They're scrounging to find consistent scoring. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough,
and you're in any way I can describe it.
You're in a stacked competition as well, this women's comp. But the Bulls, a few bright spots, and one we really want to talk about, who we're pretty high on at the moment, Bridie White. Moving up from the Albury-Wodonga Bandits last season to Inner West Bulls now. We've seen her play a whole lot in UBL and UTS. And Bridie White has been very impressive. Her perimeter defense really stands out, on-ball defense, but also the shooting, especially in the corner. She's dead eye from the corner. So Bridie White can play the point guard or shooting guard, and she's been a real bright spot for the Inner West Bulls and for UTS all season. But Garen, for the Inner West Bulls women, Piath Gabriel has been an absolute revelation. Of course, plays at college ball with the University of Connecticut. Wow, that's an elite program. And having a relatively decent season. I mean, getting a bunch of shots for this Inner West team. Big in the paint. Once she gets Seals positioned and, can make that little spin move or just like overpower her defender. Looking really effective. Also doing the work rebounding-wise. Just an absolute presence in the paint.
Go check them out. There's a lot of bright spots. If you're having a rough day, the bright spots are coming your way.
Yeah, and they will be.
They will be.
Yeah, they will be on Saturday. So get out to the Bear Cave. It's going to be a great day of basketball.